Hey guys, Wolf of War here. Just wanted to show you guys a quick money saving tip. As I get more into airbrushing, everyone's talking about using flow medium instead of using airbrush thinner. So I'll show you how to make your own for a lot cheaper. I'm using 1 cup of distilled water here. Now you can use either white PVA glue or clear PVA glue. It doesn't matter. They both dry clear. I chose PVA glue, the clear one, to try to best emulate a flow medium that I could buy in the store. But I've used both, and they both work, and they don't change the effect. Next, you want to use a matte medium. I have here golden matte medium. Actually, you can use a satin or gloss medium. It really doesn't matter. What you're trying to do is add some type of acrylic binder to this. I'm using a little bit less than a tablespoon. Oh, here's one that is one that I made where the acrylic binder has kind of settled, but I just shake it up for a second and it works just fine. Um, the final thing is 1 tablespoon of glycerin. This is our surfactant type liquid. It's going to improve the flow and lessen the surface tension of the water here. So we give this a good mix. One of the things you want to try to remember with this also is to strain it through a 190 micron paint strainer or anything like that before storing it away. Now, I've made about a gallon of this so far, and I paid less than $10. I think the most expensive thing was the big part thing of blue. Oh, actually, the matte medium. But I've only used about 2 or 3 tablespoons of it so far. Now, in a second, I want to show you guys the actual mixing of this. Um, when I say mixing, I mean actually mixing on a wet palette. Here I've got the more milky one. This is one made actually with white PVA glue and the full dose of matte medium, the 1 tablespoon per cup. And just mix a little bit in here and just kind of see how it just creates a more flowy mixture for the paint to live in while kind of holding it all together. This is the more clear one I made. This one uses clear PVA glue and a little bit less than a tablespoon of matte medium, probably more like a half tablespoon to a teaspoon of matte medium per cup. And this one works well too. Now I'm adding the store-bought Master's Touch. It's the Hobby Lobby brand flow medium. And at first glance, this one appears to work the best. Cleaning my brush off really well in between each one, but I mix this in and just immediately the paint just flows right into it and just looks really good and smooth. And so I kind of thought about it for a second and realized that I probably didn't mix in equal amounts of paint and pigment into each of these, and so I kind of wanted to go back and dab my brush into the paint, mix them in really well, and just see how the paint thinned and how it acted, kind of in a glazing scenario. As I'm mixing here, I'm starting to see that maybe there's just a slightly more milky tint to the middle one that I made with the white PVA glue. But remember, that dries clear, and you're not going to be able to trust any paint while it's wet as far as the color. So this isn't really a negative for me. Um, and it's actually going to turn out to be a positive because what I'm noticing at the bottom as I'm trying to compare these two uh, is that it's separating a little bit. So I think to myself, let me go back in and just remix this all together really good. I'm going to add some more pigment to it and just mix this in because maybe it was my fault that it was starting to separate. Like I didn't give it enough attention. So let's go back there and mix it in really well and add some more pigment. And you can see it's really dark at this point, and it Looks a lot more dark than my milky one. Um, but again, I noticed that, I see it, I'm not worried about it. That does dry clear. So after mixing the one at the bottom, the store-bought one, together, I wanted to give it some time to separate again. So I went ahead and did a quick test with the colors themselves. Now, I don't think the separation is going to be any issue painting on a surface that's absorbent like a piece of paper. I mean, that paper is going to suck up the moisture so quickly that the paint's not going to have time to separate before it dries, especially acrylics with no retarder in there. And I just kind of go back over all of them, just some kind of a glazing scenario, and just see if the colors are at all different or varying as they dry or anything like that. I didn't notice anything significant. Um, Again, the store-bought one seems a little bit darker, but as it dries, it's going to look exactly the same. But I'm noticing the separation again. And here, if you guys will look, these are the top two. And if you can get the glare off of them for just a moment, you can just kind of see they're just holding together. They're just, paints. You don't see any difference. So I can get the angle right on this. Look, it's literally separating from the paint. So either they don't use enough acrylic binder, if any at all, because I've suspected that they don't use any or minute amounts. But their paint is obviously, their flow medium is obviously separating from the paint, and it's off-putting, and it actually explains a lot of the issues I've been having. So this DIY flow improver, I hope it can help you guys. It's better than the stuff you can get at Hobby Lobby and cheaper. If you guys want more content like this, please subscribe to the like button. Smash the notification bell. I don't know. I'll get it right one of these days. See you guys next time.